All right, a very warm good evening to everyone joining in from India. And of course, a very warm welcome to everyone joining in from across the world because we have people joining in from United States, from UK, and from Canada as well. So thank you so much for taking out time. It is a pleasure having you on board once again. And Simple Ed is here with another round of web-based interactions that we are doing for past few months. And this one again is a very exclusive a session that we are doing for the universities. And as you can see on your screens that this targets at understanding from the Indian recruiters, what could be the best practices, what could be some measures that they are taking to attract or understand the domestic market. So and there is definitely scope for us to learn new things from these experts and what they are or how they are going about their recruitment process domestically. So my name is Khwaja and I am a director of university relations for Simple Ed, and I would like to welcome my co-host Shelly Jain. She is the recognition service manager from Pearson Academy, and it is always a pleasure to have her on board because we are doing this in collaboration with Pearson. All right, so the expert panel tonight, it is an extreme honor and pleasure to have these three uh, people who have taken out time and have considered joining us and sharing their experiences with you all. We have Mr. Amit Yadav. He is the Pro-Vice-Chancellor of Singhania University. Then we have Dr. Preeti Chitkara. She is from the KIET group of institutions. She is primarily responsible for the international relations. And we have Mr. Rohit Lalwani. He is the Director of Industry Relations from Avantika University. So it's a great pleasure having all three of you joining us this evening and taking out time. And it will definitely be very interesting to hear from each one of you. Now, let us first understand why we are doing this session. I mean, what is the sole motive behind doing a session like this? I mean, each one of you, whoever is listening to me, whether from United States or the UK or Canada or anywhere else, well, you are globetrotters. You are people who are tremendously experienced because of the international travel that you do. Uh, but you sometimes you tend to miss out on focusing or trying to understand the indigenous practices that institutions within that country may be adopting, may be taking, and there could be something that can be extracted from there. So, and why I say that is because every country is unique. Every country has its own way of, rather, should have its own way of outreach. So, we will try to understand from these people who are interacting with students, with parents, and we'll try to see how they go about their business. And of course, this could really add value to your recruitment process. All right, can we move to the next slide, please? Yeah, thank you so much. So what we would do is we have these three speakers, and I would call upon one speaker at a time and would request them to address to these points that I have on screen. So of course, first I would request Mr. Amit Yadav, who is the Pro-Vice-Chancellor, Singhania University, Rajasthan. to please join in. And I would like to understand from him, the recruitment strategies that are usually adopted by Indian institutions, and secondly, whether he takes help from external agencies in the recruiting process. I mean, of course, he would be speaking with respect to his institution. So can we have Mr. Yadav made the presenter, please? And Mr. Yadav, if you can hear me, you could just turn on your audio and video. And yeah, there we go. All right, over to you, Mr. Yadav.
Fine. Very good evening to people joining from India, and very, very good morning to people joining from other parts of India, other parts of world. Mr. Khwaja has already briefed things about what we are on to in this session. So I would, without wasting any time, I would directly start with the questions here on my screen. So the first question says, is the recruitment strategy adopted by Indian institutions? So, as I would like to tell, India has a population of around 138 million people. So the census says more than 50% of Indian students or Indian population is youth, and which is under 25, under an age of 25. So there is a huge, huge opportunity for higher education in India, for Indian as well as people from abroad. And to give you a bit more knowledge, the new education policy, which has been passed in India a couple of months ago, gives a very, very broad spectrum for institutions from India and abroad to come and set up a very good new benchmark for international and national education. So this recruitment strategy, as of now adopted by Indian institution, is we have started with 25% of global 25% of digital media, which is the new thing which is being added, and still 75% of the strategy is using agents. We still have students coming from most of the rural parts of India for higher education, as India has 60% of its population still living under rural areas. So the only way to get people from those areas is to have an help from agencies, institutions, and primarily there are many agents. Up to my last knowledge, which with like my knowledge, which I know, there are at least 3,800 registered agency which provides students as of now. And yes, do my university as well as couple of universities which I know, everyone takes help from external agency for recruitment process. It's very difficult for any university or organization to stand up or to fill their seats without any external agency. And as the local agencies or the local agent, what we call, have a very good hold on their part. So that's the only proper channel which is being going through a long period of time where we get students from the agents. Khwaja sir, you can take over from here.
Right. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Yadav, for sharing those points. And can we move to the next slide, please? And Mr. Yadav will be available for any questions that you may have after the speakers have spoken. So I would request the attendees to just type in their questions in the chat box that you see on the right, and we would be happy to address those questions while we proceed. All right. So now the other thing that I would like to hear from the other expert speaker on board that we have is on the best means and the role of maybe parents and alumni. So these are the three questions that I have for Dr. Chitkara. Thank you so much, Dr. Chitkara, for joining in, and it's a pleasure having you. So the three questions that I have for you are: what is the best means? What are the best means to reach out to potential students? Then, what is the role that parents play in this admission process of yours, and how do you engage alumni? So yeah, please go ahead, and the floor is all yours.
Okay. Wish you all a very pleasant morning, the ones who are joining us from the other countries. Uh, and good evening to Khwaja sir and everybody from India. At the outset, I would like to extend my heartful thanks to Simpler for inviting me for this interaction. Here, I would say that if we talk about the best means to reach out to the potential students, so every positive interaction with the brand depends on clear communication. So I believe we need to create a user-friendly path that puts our potential students at ease. It's no surprise that, as even Sir mentioned, that most prospective students for any university or institute nowadays, even if they are from the rural background, they live online because right now I think internet has become a necessity for everyone due to COVID, in fact. So particularly on mobile technology, we find most of the students. Today's recruiting strategies have switched to be more on digital and mobile friendly modes. And in that case, I believe even without all technological bells and whistles, we can provide value to our new recruits. So I would like to mention that KIET, at KIET Group of Institutions, we adopt a multi-channel approach. Our website is a branded responsive hub that's easy to navigate and engaging to use. So a good website has a very important role in attracting the students. We need to post various blogs on the website as well as external sources so that they may provide bit-sized information to the students and to all those who are finding us, who are trying to find the good institutes for their future prospects. We are proud to share that the social media has a critical online outreach. It has to have it locally, nationally, as well as internationally. So, email and SMS campaigns are also run to generate leads and nurture them, direct mails, phone calls. And in fact, I would say that the current stakeholders and especially the alumni of any of the institute and university act as the brand ambassador as they spread the name and fame of any university through word of mouth. And that is most trusted means. The campus visits, the school connect programs, the education fairs, of course, play an important role because they give you the chance to interact directly with the prospective recruit of yours. And we even believe that international summits, conclaves, they all act as key elements that market the institution both offline as well as online. So this is the answer for the first question of yours, Mr. Kwaza. The second question which you offered is that what role do the parents play and what is the importance of parents in the selection of a college or how to go about it, like how to engage the parents, in fact. So here I believe that though the students today, they're more tech savvy and smart to take their own decisions. Still, the parents, being more mature in all perspectives, especially in Indian context, they play a very vital role. They play a vital role in helping their child in selecting a college. So they don't just go for online promotional things. In fact, they pay more attention to the ranking, accreditations, surveys about the institute. They are more concerned about the career prospects of their child. So they look into the placement opportunities and the word of mouth, that is real time perspective of the currently studying students of the university, wherein they wish their children to study forward, further. Thereby, their role is quite significant, and we cannot ignore their satisfaction, of course. So I believe that the parents have to interact with the college or the institute wherein they want their child to take admission. So that's why it's important to connect with them even and make them feel comfortable and make them feel completely convinced that where the child is going is really safe for them and the future is really bright. That perhaps answers your second question, sir. And the third is the alumni, importance of alumni in life. So, alumni of any institute, I think, is the brand ambassador. And we certainly feel extremely proud to share that, like for us, we have a base of 50,000 plus, 15,000 plus alumni base is there with us. So, they are there to spread the information about their own institute in all nooks and corners of the world, and they are a kind of legacy and unique factors to strongly boost the application process of the new recruits. So how we engage them is very important, and we believe that there should be an alumni cell and in fact alumni association that should keep all the alumni connected with the institute. So what we do is that we try to organize a lot of programs, and we try to give more and more power to the students or the alumni who are the in the managing committee of association to take care of the complete alumni base and keep connecting with them so that they are always updated with the new information and knowledge about what all their own institute is doing. And that way we keep organizing sports day when before pandemic we had a lot of on campus activities wherein we used to invite the alumni and we organized various programs for them. Right now, due to pandemic, nothing has stopped. It has all moved on to online mode. So that way, I believe that it is very important to keep the alumni base connected with us and engaged with a university or an institute, because that provides us a lot of confidence that we can, let everybody know about what is positive and what is happening on the campus. In fact, thank you so much, Kwaza sir. I think that answers all three questions of yours. So, anything else that I which I have to answer, please let me know that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Chitkara. I think maybe I would request you to take this question that I see. This is from Janice. This says, "Do you have staff visiting schools?" So, yeah, if you
Not
could.
visiting schools, I should say that we do keep organizing some of the CSR activities, which keep engaging the schools also with us. Because here, what I believe, see, for us, let me be very, honest with you all, that for us, we don't crave for admissions. There's a lot of admissions poured down to us due to the name and fame of the institution and the work we do. But what we crave for is the visibility part, and we believe that everyone should be aware that KIET is there and it works so nicely for everybody. So, for that purpose, we keep organizing, we keep connecting with the schools, of course, but we don't promote directly, keep organizing CSR activities with them. So, this is what is our connect format with the schools.
All right. Thank you so much. Very interesting to know. So, thank you so much, Dr. Chitkara. I think if there will be more questions, we can take them up after our next speaker.
Sure,
Uh,
sure, sir,
again.
sure.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Can we move to the next slide, please? All right. So now we would like to hear from Mr. Rohit Lalwani, who is the Director of Industry Relations, Avantika University, Madhya Pradesh. So this is central part of India. And we would like to understand from him, of course, a little bit about the COVID impact on the admission cycle and also the national education policy of India 2020, which very briefly we had Mr. Yadav talking about it. So, Mr. Lalwani, if you could just turn on your microphone, we can see you, but yeah, there we go. So, we have these two questions for you, Mr. Lalwani. First of all, thank you so much for taking out time and joining in. Uh,
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Right. So the two things that we would like you to shed some light on are, how much has this COVID situation impacted the admission cycle, or overall, what is the impact, and also if you could share a little bit about how you perceive this new national education policy of India that was recently out. Over to you.
Sure. Hello, everyone. And to share my thoughts on the first question here, yes, all institutions and every organization around the globe has been affected with the COVID situation. We also had certain disruption at our end, but I would rather say that it has worked very positively for us for a simple reason that it gave us an opportunity to move our processes, move our systems online, and start engaging in a very different way as compared to what we were doing before COVID. Additionally, if we were to go out and see, we landed up doing multiple new initiatives around this entire situation. To quote you an example, we started conducting workshops for school students online on our philosophy that we call as designeering, which is the blended approach of design and engineering. And we started conducting very creative workshops for them in terms of what do you exactly mean by the concept of designeering, and how does it affect our day-to-day lives. The students participated in the process very enthusiastically, and it actually helped us in spreading a word about what we did. Apart from that, at the university, we've always maintained very interesting brand touch points with all our stakeholders, whether they are the parents, whether they are students or the industry partners. We run podcast show, we run a digital magazine, we run multiple other activities, which helps us in engaging with each of these stakeholders very positively. To answer the second question in terms of what impact do I perceive about the NEP 2020 on higher education, I think it's going to be supremely positive. I think there is a lot of new opportunity that is going to be introduced in multiple phases for multiple set of classrooms, students. And I think in terms of the plan that the government has introduced is very exciting, is very good. What it depends upon is how do they go out there and implement each of these plans is going to be very important. But at the outset, to be very honest, there's a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement about the new NEP. And personally, I believe it is a step by the government of India to actually go out and look at a modern way of training, coaching, the next breed of talent from India.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Lalwani. And attendees, I would request you to, write in your questions in the chat box, and we will be happy to address them as we move on. All right. Can we move to the next slide, please? So I would like to let you all know, of course, there were more people that we interviewed. There are some more views that I want to share from people who, of course, could not join in. But there are two short videos that I would like to play before you. And so the first is of Dr. E. James, who is the Pro-Vice-Chancellor for Strategy and Operations for Karunya Institute of Technology and Sciences from down south, Tamil Nadu. And can we have the video, please? What is the overall recruiting strategy that you adopt as far as domestic admissions are concerned? I mean, if you have to share some tips for US universities for their outreach, then what would that be?
Right. We will not handpick them and counsel them and groom them to fulfill their aspiration.
how has this COVID situation, I mean, how has your institution coped up with this, and what effect has that
If
had?
you ask me, our we are having now online classes going on,
Mhm.
and we have already conducted online examinations and
Okay.
semester examinations, and we have
Mhm.
also conducted online tests for the
Mhm.
final last year.
Well,
That was
well,
very
well, 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 my last question to you would be on what we had, like partially discussed also, which is the NEP. So, how do you perceive that? Of course, it's only a framework document as of now, but still it talks about internationalization and a lot of flexibility for even higher educational institutions. So, how do you perceive that, and how do you see that helping Indian institutions in globalizing, and also how overall, what is the overall sort
I'll
of
tell you,
benefit that you see out of
Government
it?
of India,
Mm-hmm.
when it talks about liberalization,
Mm-hmm.
it will always put some hurdles. I'm not pessimistic about the whole thing. If
Mm-hmm.
India was a developed country, fully developed country, these things would have helped.
Mm-hmm.
Since we have not fully developed, I
Mm-hmm.
feel NEP will have its own limitations when you start. I look forward to an India when we are internationalized and
Right.
we are the leaders. Not by
Right.
entering into UN that we become leaders. We become leaders in learning and education.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. James. It was very, very interesting, and I'm sure this will definitely be helpful for whoever listens to this. All right, can we move to the next slide, please? Yes, so we have Dr. Sanjay Chaudhary, who also could not join in. He is the Deputy Registrar from Maths University, Chhattisgarh. So, can we have the video, please? So my first question is that what is the recruitment strategy overall, that you adopt for domestic admissions? I mean, do you take some help from external agencies, or overall, what is your perspective on that?
Look, as a multidisciplinary university, we adopt a 360-degree recruitment strategy that involves
Okay.
all kind of media to reach our potential students.
Okay.
Some of the channels that we prefer for recruitment are digital marketing, like we use Google campaigning, we use
Okay.
Facebook, we post on Instagram, we
Okay.
create WhatsApp groups and connect with students, potential students to them.
I see.
Then we also send our people, our executives,
Hmm.
to neighboring colleges and schools and universities. And
Okay.
we also collect data from global level.
I see.
And we work extensively on our branding at different platforms that include the print media, radio, news
Mm-hmm.
channels, television news channels, and billboards, etc.
And are you using some kind of help from external agencies?
Yeah. We do take help
Okay.
from external agencies.
All right. So that brings me to my next question. So, what in your experience has been the best means to reach out to these potential students of yours? If you would like to maybe count on a few.
We focus a lot on local newspapers, local as well as national
Okay.
newspapers. We give
I see. I see.
advertisements in newspapers.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Social
That's
media platforms are always open for us.
quite naturally. I would want to know, in line with this, that what role do parents play in their child taking this, call to select a college?
The role of parents is very important, but it is different at two different levels. That is undergraduate and postgraduate. Yeah, we
Okay.
do interact with parents. So parents are the best guides if they are the learned ones.
So I mean, they visit your campus, and they go around and understand the facilities available. The
Definitely,
facilities
because the
available.
parents
Right.
always want the first
Definitely,
experience of the
because
facilities
parents
Right.
always
that
want the
we
first
offer.
Right.
experience of the
Now, another very
facilities
important
that we offer.
aspect
Now,
to
another very
any.
important aspect.
All right. Okay. So there we are. So I would like to tell everyone, I mean, especially the attendees, that we have made a montage of all these interviews that we have done, and we will be sharing this with all of you. And you can, and obviously, we will be sharing the recording of this webinar as well. So that would be available for each one of you. And the presenters who were part of this session, the interviews with them are also part of that montage. So I would be very pleased to kind of share that with you at a later stage. And of course, there is this free scored practice test vouchers that would be available for everyone attending. This is, of course, as I said earlier, that we are doing these web sessions in collaboration with Pearson PT Academic. So they have been kind enough to provide these free for all our attendees. So, and of course, now I would request, if there are any more questions, please type in your questions in the chat box, and we will be happy to address them. All right. So, as I had mentioned, that we have made a montage of all the interviews that we have done so far. So that will be shared with each one of you. And I think since we do not have any questions for the panelists, then I would like to take this opportunity to thank each and everyone joining in, especially our expert panelists. Thank you all for taking out time and joining in, and we look forward to more such sessions, more such exclusive sessions from Simple Ed. Thank you once again, everyone joining in from across the globe. It was a pleasure having you. And of course, thank you once again to all panelists who took out time and were present for our session. Thank you all.